Hello there. You are onto the M2M Session podcast. We raise kings to embrace their masculinity and amplify their influence in the society. Welcome. The M2M Session podcast is about to begin.
Hey guys, welcome to another edition of the M2M Session podcast. Well, first of all, I'd like to express my sincere and honest and earnest and utmost gratitude and appreciation on behalf of every man out there, and I want to wish every father out there happy Father's Day. Yeah, Father's Day was last week, Sunday. Yeah, this Sunday that just passed. So, guys, just in case you did not send your dad, happy Father's Day message, it's not too late. You can still send him a message. Okay, and of course, like I told you guys last week, International Men's Health Month is currently ongoing. So please, I encourage you guys, ensure you go out there for a medical checkup. Right? Don't take it for granted. Don't take it lightly. Go out there, have a heart checkup, whatever it may be, blood pressure. Check your weight, get to know your current weight. Anything you need to do, ensure that your health is intact. So today, I have someone with me in the studio today, and he will be joining me and we'll be talking about what no one told you about porn. Hello, Mr. Ehnkay Umoh. Can you greet the audience?
Hello, everyone. I hope you're all good. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers listening to us, and also to the to-be fathers.
Yeah, to be. Last week somebody sent me a message and said, Happy Father's Day. That will soon be a future dad. And I was like, that moment it feels like I just traveled into the future, and I was like, so me like this, I still have children. It's well. Okay, so back to what we are here for today. Please, after this session or while this episode is going on, run off to Instagram, right? Run off to TikTok, run off to YouTube, follow us on Instagram and Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube page, and follow us on TikTok. Our handle is M2M Session across the channels. M2M Session. So great. What no one told you about porn. I believe by now, some of you listening to me right now, you've already heard my story, right? You've already heard my story about porn. But, before I say anything, right, I would like Ehnkay Umoh to tell us a bit about what he has to say about porn. Ehnkay, over to you, boss.
Thank you so much, Anna. In a nutshell, porn is derived from the word pornography. And pornography is the art of filming adult sexual scenes, to produce content that, people can watch. We call them adult films, some people call it blue films. But indeed, the whole idea of porn is hinged on the fact that sex is something that really, really sells. Even in regular TV commercials, product art on social media, we can see that sex appeal is even used to drive traffic to a particular product. Remember when I was a child that, we'll see a woman step out from the shower looking all gorgeous and, in a towel, just to advertise either a soap or maybe a body cream. Porn is hinged on the fact that, yes, sex really, really sells, So a whole industry of its own has been created, the porn industry, whereby these adult sexual materials are being sold, created, produced, and We have tons, millions and millions of it on the internet, whereby even small children, if parental control is not being put in place, they actually have access to all these things. And it has really destroyed a whole lot of young persons, such that it has driven them into addictions. They begin to struggle and wallow in the mud of addictions that can actually lead to other things like low self-esteem, because once they battle with their self-will that they cannot actually come out of something that they wish they can come out from, their self-esteem begins to go down. So porn is a whole topic that we could actually spend the whole time to talk about. We want to even categorize it, if like me that I've actually been addicted once. We have soft porn, we have hardcore, this kind of stuff, and it's really addictive. It's really addictive.
Wow. soft porn, hardcore. Guys, thank you so much, Ehnkay, Umoh. So don't worry, this is just like a tip of the iceberg that we're hearing from Ehnkay, right? We are going to hear more of him, right, concerning this topic. But so before I say what I want to say, right, last year I had a webinar where it was actually a boot camp where we had over 50 male participants. At the point we had to also admit some female participants, and they were like up to like 14, but we had to assign them to a female facilitator who took them. So these 50 men, they were in the boot camp for 1 month, and we actually helped them to change their habits towards porn. I can tell you that one of the things I noticed throughout that period, both from the group of people who successfully defeated the habit of porn and those who did not defeat the habit of porn, one thing that was common among both of them was the decision that they made, right? It was a decision that they made. The people who eventually got rid of the addiction to porn, they made the decision and they backed it up with their action, and they became vulnerable. I've said this a lot of time on this podcast, right? They became vulnerable. They did not hide anything. It's like sweeping your house, and then while you're sweeping, you're putting some dirt under the carpet. They opened up everything. Those were the group of people who eventually got rid of the addiction to porn. For the group of people who, even after the program, doing a follow-up, they were still struggling with it. In fact, they felt like it will never happen, because there are people in this category that feel like and they are addicted to porn. There is no solution. I'm glad that there were people who could mirror the possibility of breaking free. But the reason why they were not able to break free was because they made the decision not to be vulnerable. It was their decision. They swept their secrets under the carpet, and they refused to open up. They refused to open up, right? And you could realize that we were unable to pinpoint the real reason as to why they were addicted. Because if you really want to get rid of a tree in an environment, you don't cut it from the branches. You don't even cut it from the top. You don't even cut the root, the leaves. You have to go deep down as the roots and pluck it out. So if you're here and you're listening and you're wondering if it's possible for you to break free from porn, I'm going to give you an invitation, right? So in the next couple of weeks, we are going to be hosting a session, another boot camp titled Judas Pride, and our focus is going to be on breaking free from addiction. Don't miss out on that. So, what no one told you about porn? The first thing is that porn is going to put a strain on your relationship, be it an intimate or a friendly relationship. Porn will put a strain on it, particularly if you have an intimate relationship, either with your fiancé, right, or your spouse, or with your wife. We had married men who were in that boot camp last week, and they could attest to the fact that the addiction to porn had affected their relationship with their wives and their children. So porn will put a strain on your relationship. Secondly, porn is going to alter your sexual drive. Every single person on planet Earth, we have different libido alignments. The moment you begin entertaining and watching porn, it begins to alter the frequency of your libido. So if peradventure you were not somebody who was usually if your sexual urges were not usually that frequent, you get just some things triggers it. The moment you start entertaining porn, you would get sexual urge triggers even without being in that environment. It would come because it has learned to adapt to a certain calling, to a certain entertainment. And so you will now begin to ask yourself, okay, shouldn't it just be when you watch porn? No, it won't just be when you watch porn that you would be having sexual urges. Because the next thing that nobody told you about porn is that porn will create an insatiable desire in you.
Of course, that's very true.
Yeah.
And to add to that, in life, it's not only kings and queens are not only those that occupy, famous seats of power. Kings and queens can also be people that have been crowned by self-discipline. So if there is no self-control over anything that, is normal, actually libido or sexual urges are very, very normal. We were all born with it. It's very normal, except in exceptional cases where there is a problem medically. But having sexual urges or entertaining, yes, having a normal libido is fine. But when you allow the state of normalcy to be altered by porn addiction,
Yeah.
it scatters everything.
Yeah.
It scatters everything. You could actually be in a public bus and you're having a boner for, as a guy, you're having a boner for somebody.
Dr. Boner shows up.
Like he's sitting just beside you. You could even be surprised that weird circumstances, like even a younger, maybe an underage, like it's because like that layer of self-control has been taken off.
Yeah, and a new desire has been replaced. It is this desire that we eventually term addiction, but no, it is not the insatiable desire that is even the addiction. It's not. Okay? But you need to understand that porn will definitely create this insatiable desire. Like Ehnkay said, Dr. Boner will show up and you're in a cab. When you're supposed to go down from the cab, you're not putting your hand in your trouser. Everybody thinks that you're forming big boy walking, not knowing that you're trying to communicate with Dr. Boner, not to show up publicly. So, another thing that nobody told you about porn is that porn is going to create a mobile mental cinema. It's going to invent, it's going to erect, it's going to institute, and it's going to enforce a mobile mental cinema. What does that mean? That means that even when you are not watching porn, you would have the images of porn replaying in your mind everywhere you go. Yes. You would have the images of porn replaying in your mind everywhere you go. And this is something that people fail to understand when they begin the journey of trying to break free from porn. If you spent more than 5 years being addicted and entertaining porn, mark my words, you will definitely have this mobile mental cinema. So 3 weeks, 1 month process would not be enough for you to erase the cinema. You will need to apply constantly and continuously reinforcing thoughts that will erase those images that has been built in your mind for 5 good years. Nobody tells you about this. The years that you spend, the months, the days, the hours that you spend entertaining and enjoying, it's like a movie, guys. Like a movie. I mean, when the very first time I watched Titanic, I was like, that's way back 20 years ago, and I can still remember the scene. If even you guys listening, you know that there are movies you watched I can remember watching Gladiator. These are movies I watched when I was growing up, as little as 5. So there's something that movies does to you. It's the same thing that porn does to you.
Exactly.
So imagine if you spend that number of years entertaining and watching it, not just one scene alone, constantly, continuously. You watch ebony porn, you watch lesbian porn, you watch gay porn, you watch erotic porn, you watch Japanese, you watch Spanish, you watch brutal, everything, you watch all of them. The amount of years that you invested in watching porn, you would need to reinvest a recurring amount of time for you to erase and delete those memories.
Exactly.
It is not a magic wand.
Exactly.
Nobody waves a magic wand. It is not brainwash.
And that is why even when you experience a relapse in your freedom journey or your recovery journey, you shouldn't give up.
Exactly.
Because apart from the physical battle that you're fighting to break free, there's also a mental battle that you have to also win. You have to win at it. So even when you experience a relapse, don't give up. Don't say that no, it has become my life, that this is who I am, that I am a porn addict. Don't label yourself just yet. Even though you have to acknowledge the fact that you actually have a problem that needs to be solved. But even when you experience a relapse, don't give up, because you have to keep fighting mentally too. That's why wise men have said that the greatest of all battles that have ever been won was first won in the battlefield of the mind.
That's true. So guys, another thing you need to know is nobody told you that when you're addicted to porn, right? Nobody told you that you're going to exchange your willpower. Your willpower is going to be exchanged. It will be difficult for you to say no to porn. You will no longer have the control of when, where, and how you want to watch porn. Porn will now have the control over you. Porn will now tell you when to watch it, how to watch it, where to watch it. Are you with me? And two last things before we wrap up. Okay, nobody told you that porn is manipulative. Porn will manipulate you into doing things you never thought you could do. It would manipulate you into masturbating. It will manipulate you into using soap to masturbate. It will manipulate you into calling a female friend who you have no sexual attraction to, you have no feeling to invite her over to the house and you sleep with her, or you may eventually rape her. Why? Because it has manipulated you to take actions beyond your original control. Finally, nobody told you that porn will leave you with an emotional blackmail. After watching porn, how do you feel? Think about it. How do you feel after watching porn? Don't you feel dirty sometimes? Don't you feel like, what did I do? What did I just do? And you're like, you start feeling bad within yourself. Start feeling somehow. Especially if you came on your boxer. You start feeling somehow. It's already blackmailing you, already making you feel like you're not good enough, already making you feel like, you've done something bad. And let me drive this home for the Christian folks who are listening to us. It will start making you feel like you sinned against God, as if God has left you, like God has abandoned you, like you are the one that just led the rebellion with Lucifer in heaven. So you're the one that hung Jesus on the cross. It will blackmail you. These are things that nobody told you about porn. And I just want to tell you this, because nobody told you about this also concerning porn. It is possible to break free from porn. So guys, we're going to end the session here for today. And from next week, we are going to be having another series which will run, and it's going to be titled The Confession of a Young Man 2.0. And we are going to be having it run for five straight weeks. In fact, make that 6 weeks, right? And Ehnkay Umoh is going to be here on the studio with you guys, sharing.
Was I clapping for myself?
Feels like a setup, right? He's going to be on the studio with you guys, sharing his confession with you guys every week for the next 6 weeks. And after that, you know what it is? We are entering the month of August, and we are going to be having How I Met My Wife 2.0. You don't want to miss out of anything that we've planned out for you on M2M Session, right? So right about now, hurry down to our Instagram page, follow us on M2M Session, hurry down to our YouTube page, subscribe, hurry down to our TikTok page, follow us. If you're on Facebook, like our page as well. We are M2M Session across board. So till we come your way again next time,
I remain Ehnkay Umoh.
and I remain your wonderful host,
Okay.
AI.
Thank
Cheers.
you. Thank you.